Today, he's one of our RTC commissioners. Please welcome Mayor of Santa Cruz, the Honorable Fred Keeley.
Thank you, Sally. Thanks to all of the folks and friends of the Rail and Trail pulling this together, having years and years and years of commitment to a dream. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. Yeah, if you think it's quick, you're wrong. I'm going to tell you a story. 1972, I was a student at San Jose State University, and I was home studying, allegedly, in my apartment. I get a knock on the door, and there's this youngish man who's a Saratoga City Council member at the time, and he says, "I'm running for the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors." I said, "Yeah, okay, great." He said, "I'd love to have your vote. What are you going to be doing?" He told me a couple of things, but he said, "The thing I really want to do is I want to bring a modern transit system to the Santa Clara County, Santa Clara Valley." That man, of course, you know, his name was Rod Dirodon. And I said, "Sure, be glad to help out." So I gave him a nickel, which was half of my net worth at the time, and said, "I'll be glad to put up a sign and walk a precinct." Fast forward 25 years, I'm now a county supervisor in Santa Cruz County. It's in the late 1980s. I have a corollary, a friend over in Santa Clara County named Mike Honda, who's county supervisor. Went on to go become a member of Congress. We served together in the legislature and so on. Mike and I got together and we were talking. We said, what should we do? We should really think about what we can do between our counties relative to transit and transportation, especially rail. And we said, let's go see Rod. So we go see Rod Dirodon, who now is the gray eminence at that point of transit, transportation, light rail, being recognized throughout the country, under consideration in 2 consecutive Democratic administrations to be Secretary of Transportation. He ends up having the Mineta Institute for Transportation. He becomes the executive director. He is the holy grail you want to go talk to. So Mike and I go and we spend some time with Rod. Rod gave us 2 pieces of great recommendations and insight into this work. 1, if you think this is going to happen in a year or 2 years or 5 years, get over yourself. These projects take time. They are enormous land use planning projects. They are enormously complicated with regard to funding the capital side and the operations and maintenance. But what you cannot do if you want to do this is give up. He said, I guarantee you are going to get into situations which are going to look very dark and very hopeless because some administration who's sitting there now doesn't like something that's part of what you're going to do. And you're going to think, oh my God, we're not going to get funded under this administration. Gee, what if the state and the feds align at any point along the line and don't really want to do this? Rod said, if at any point along that you say this particular hurdle is too high to get over, he said, you will never get the project done. He said, so what you got to do is believe in your dream. You've got to believe in it. And where are we right now in our dream? Some people would have you believe that where we are in our dream is that it's become a nightmare because a number was thrown at it of $4.2 billion. That should surprise no one. These are enormously compound, complex projects. And you don't build them for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, or the next 20 years. You build them for the next 75 to 100 years. That's what you're doing. And so visionaries like Rod Dirodon will always buck you up. They will say to you, stay with it. Look at what's been done already. Our opponents say, look how much money you've wasted already. What we say is, look at the progress we have made, not only with our funds, but getting state and federal funds to help us do this. And I want to pause on this for a second. All too often, When we talk about state and federal funds, it's like it's somebody else's damn money. This is our money. We pay billions of dollars over time in state and federal taxes, in gas taxes, in excise taxes, in our community, and we export those to Sacramento and Washington, D.C. This isn't somebody else. This is our money we're clawing back in here. This is our money. For our project, for our future, for our dream. Next, we don't have a project yet. For those that want to stop the project, we don't have a project yet. You only have a project once you finish the EIR and selected a project alternative. We're not near that. Our next challenge is getting the money for that, to be able to do the environmental work that explains, here are the constraints of the project. That will then be when the RTC selects a project alternative. At that point, we can have the debate about whether that project, which will have an assigned cost to it, where we can begin evaluating what our local share costs, that's when we can have the debate. It's not my fault and it's not your fault that Greenway put a stupid ballot measure on before they ever should have, and got 74% of the people in the city I represent say, no, don't stop. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. As the mayor of Santa Cruz, I don't have one piece of evidence that says to me that the majority of the people in the city of Santa Cruz want me to slam the brakes on this. That isn't at all what they want. What they want is for all of us to keep putting one foot in front of the other until we get to a point where we can agree this is a decision-making moment. We are not at that point. Don't let anybody try to convince you we are at that point. We are not at that point. The right thing to do is what the voters told us to do in the original Measure D. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. We want the benefit of the bargain. Sure, we're going to widen Highway 1. Sure, we're going to give some money to Metro. Sure, we're going to do this. But the bargain was also we get a rail and trail. That was the deal. Don't negotiate against ourselves and give that deal away. So we need you to buck us up at the RTC come November and December. We will do our job knowing that you have got our backs to get this job done. Thank you, Roaring Camp, thank you, Fort. God love you all.
Thank you so much. Mayor Keeley is absolutely right. We have a lot of work to do. We need to buck up our decision makers so they do the right thing.